お友達が見えたわよ。
友達なんかじゃない。友達なんかいない。
忘れ物を届けに来ました。
ありがとう。私のせいだ。私は
Fucking close your eyes though. Otherwise it's gonna be really embarrassing. Like a dick, I guess.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Fucking close your eyes though. Otherwise it's gonna be really embarrassing.
I probably won't be playing more music on the stream. Just finishing out this track. Maybe I'll put some lo-fi. But maybe it's better to just not have any music. Radio Cax. You are locked into Radio Cax. You are listening to Cax Radio.
Tastes like a dick, right?
Let's see. Basically how I'm doing this, I just have a notepad file with an explanation on taskmaster, and then I'll just use the video, the speedrun itself, and the actual game I also have open. And I'm going to be using desktop capture for all of this, so you get to see how jank my hat setup is. I think this is the video. Except for my, yep. Let me mute it. There we go. Okay, I'll just stop the music now. Let's get it out of here. Alright. Here's my desktop. OBS reveal. Pretty wild. So I should probably pop out this. Nope, that's not good. Nice aspect ratio. Hat leg open, yeah. You always need that. Dude, my mouse double clicked, I'm crying. What the fuck is going on? Let's move this over here. Oh my god, stop doing that. Stay. This is the single monitor reality, it is. Just stay here. Not have desk pen. There it is. It double clicked again, I'm so fucking mad. I'm actually malding. Really? I can't use that here? That's sad. Okay, can I do this instead? Maybe I should have figured this out before stream. But I don't care. Can I make this smaller? Kinda stuck at this width. That's great, bro. Why can I not pin this shit? I'm so upset. True. Why is this not pinnable though? I'm upset. Okay, I guess I'll use my phone for chat, but then the stream might lag. Because my internet is a miracle. There you go. Yep. Yo Yoshi. So this is the bullshit document. Buffer. Did you actually buffer? I'm sad. Okay. Is the text readable? Is the bitrate good enough for the text to be readable, or do I need to make the text bigger? It's readable? Alright. That's good. So this is the taskmaster document. I spent like a couple hours writing this and then rewriting a bunch of stuff and messing around and making sure things work like I thought they did, and then talking to Yoshi about it, and he corrected some stuff. Pretty nice. Also, here's Hat. I play in this resolution. Borderless window. I'm probably the only person who does this. Single monitor life. So, where do I even start? FMO plays on full screen? Let's go. I'm not alone in this world. The speedrun, yeah, I'm gonna sub hour. I'm gonna paste the sub hour, it's pretty nice. So, I think I'll start on taskmaster and then I'll actually look at the run later. So, disclaimer real quick, I don't know everything about taskmaster because taskmaster is extremely complicated. So there might be some things that are off or simplified or just wrong and I'm not aware of it. And Yoshi is here in chat right now at least, and he's also corrected some stuff from earlier. So starting on task timers that are pretty important, they're pretty substantial. And you don't really think about this because they're never visible, they're just there in the background running, and they are actually RNG, they're completely random. So you can see on this nice little overlay, shout outs to Yoshi for making this mod. It gives you a bunch of information. Task timer 1 is about to run out. And when it hits 0, a new task is going to spawn. And then it will go back up to some random value, in this case 33. And the task timers are going down very slowly right now. And that's because the rate at which they tick down is based on how many tasks are currently in play and the task cap, which is 3 right now. It was 4 just a moment ago. Now it's back to 4. Generally speaking, the task cap will just increase as you go through the level. Like in the context of a speedrun, that number is just going to go up as you complete more tasks. And when I complete tasks, the task timers start ticking down faster. Please deliver this. Thank you. And now it's even faster. And when it spawns, the task timers are going to start decreasing a little bit slower. Yeah, so those are based on the task cap. Oh, it increases through the level, then decreases as you approach 18. Okay. I should probably overlay chat on screen. That might be a good idea. Task post commentary, true. Put this here, that's gonna be useful. Yeah, Yoshi just corrected me. It increases through the level and then decreases when you're close to 18. Let's put that there and hope that it's readable. Actually, it's white text, so it's not going to be readable on the notepad. That's sad. Wait, I can just do this. I'm stupid. You can just... Life hack. I don't need this. Oh, that's the video. Okay. So there are constants on the task timers. Task timer 1 has this constant 26.25, task timer 2 has 52, and 3 has 105. So each timer is going to most of the time be larger than their previous timer. So when a task timer reaches 0, or at the start of the run, also at the start of the run, all of them are rolled. The constant for the timer is set through a formula that adds 4 random floats, which are just numbers with a lot of decimal places between 0 and 1. It creates 4 random floats like that and adds them together, and then halves that, or multiplies it by 0.5. And that's multiplied by the constant, and that's the new timer value that you get. So you would want that RNG to be as low as possible. You want the lowest numbers, so the timers are the lowest values. There's a lot of randomness to just one task timer, which is like, I don't know why this was considered necessary, but this is how it is. And yeah, as I mentioned before, the timers decrease faster depending on how many tasks are on screen and the task cap. The chances of getting the run I got, I don't know. But I'd say it's a 1 in 300 hour experience. Yo emoji, I just explained how task timers work. Basically it's just RNG. This is very random how a task timer is decided. And there's 3 of them. So the task timers are fairly simple. The actual bullshit starts in the task spawning. So there's 2 steps, quote unquote 2 steps, to spawning a task, and it's deciding the room and then deciding what tasks to spawn in that room. And deciding the room is like the majority of it. Yeah, exactly, username. Like this makes it like much more average. Like it gives you less standard deviation, I believe. You get less standard deviation, so it's task timers are most of the time going to be relatively close between runs. But you can still probably get like a few seconds of difference overall. So all of this is to spawn 1 task. So, that's great. So first it decides the room, and this isn't exactly chronological, this isn't exactly the order of steps, but this is the easiest way I could find to make it understandable. So first it finds a distant task, which is just any task or a task delivery point, which means a red circle like that, or yellow circle, which we've seen earlier. A red circle is a task, and a yellow, except for Mercial Freebie, which is the Mercial Grass, except for yellow. Except for that, yellow is a task delivery point. So it finds one of those that is 2 rooms away from your current room. And it's kind of counterintuitive sometimes what is considered a room. So we're gonna fail ship shape real quick.
You can stop now, Pope. Come back
And fall through the
control,
wall
I
apparently.
hear.
But you cannot roll 0 because you can roll very close to 0, but it's between 0 and 1. You can't roll exactly 0 and exactly 1. But you can roll very close to 0, theoretically. It's just very, very unlikely with the 4 random values you're getting. Yeah, I just failed ship shape, man. No blueberry? Oh, okay, interesting. Maybe you can hit a 0 then. And that's just a misinterpretation on my part. But either way, it's still extremely unlikely. I am not reverse engineering, I am just explaining the mechanisms of this level, or trying to. It's hard. Anyway, I was on, yeah, rooms. What's considered a room? It is, yes. And it's also very confusing for experienced players, don't worry. So, yeah, just like Yoshi said. This entire area, this upper part, like this, it's all one room. So you can see... I need to unghost to actually be in the wall. Okay, the game thinks I'm still in yellow. That's interesting. Or maybe the overlay is just not updating anymore. Maybe the wrong hotkeys. Okay. Maybe slow mode 5. So this is pool / playpen. That's one volume. And you would think like this would be 2 rooms. Like this would be its own room. But it's not. Yeah, I figured Ghost was the problem, but it doesn't really matter that much. This is Mercial, this is also all one single room. And this is the right side, or actually the left side of the ship, but this is called yellow because of how it looks like when tasks spawn. Like tasks, the task icon is yellow for tasks that spawn in here. So this entire like side of the ship is called yellow. And that's all, this is all one room. That's all one room. So it's fairly big rooms, but there's also very small rooms, like here, engine room. This is one room. Very small. Lobby is its own room. Like that. Casino is the room. Each icon is a room, yes, except for pool and playpen, which is the same room, and kitchen and laundry, which is also the same room. But otherwise, every icon is in its own room. Like here, this is kitchen laundry. You'd be surprised. I think they worked really hard on Taskmaster. There's so much that goes into it. It's just, I disagree that it's still badly introduced. Because they kind of expect you to, like, to play this level properly, you need to really know the layout of the ship. And a casual player wouldn't really know that. And I agree, this level is extremely frustrating when you're first playing. But yes, it is incredibly complicated. So yeah, a distant task is a task that is 2 rooms away from you. Specifically 2 rooms. So from here, okay, we'll just use this. So here I'm in dining hall, so this is his own room. Kitchen, laundry is the room next to me, so that's one room away from me. And then lobby, or brown or yellow, are 2 rooms away from me. Also, Mercial is technically 2 rooms away from me, since it can be counterintuitive. Again, you wouldn't really think that Mercial is 2 rooms away from here, but if you go through pool, that's 1 room, and then Mercial is next to pool. So there's some counterintuitive stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Like they put so much thought into it, and they just failed to recognize that casual players wouldn't really know how to play. It's unfortunate. Yo, FML, hi. Let me check that. If only, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I figured it's not the values aren't updating because Taskmaster is inactive right now. Yeah, FML, I'm doing alright. Butch. Yeah, Death Wish is very hard. It's just, you know, a challenge that you can dedicate yourself to. So yeah, it tries to find a distant task, which is 2 rooms away from you, and most of the time there isn't gonna be one. But let me get 50% of the time there isn't gonna be one, a little bit over 50% of the time. And if it finds one, it will find what rooms are between your current room and that distant task room. So, for example, if I'm in here, then pool is 2 rooms away, so you can go to that elevator to pool. So it can use dining hall as a bridge from this location to a task in pool. It can also use yellow, since yellow is connected to a lot of things. You can go through yellow up there, and then yellow can also go to pool. Based on chances of current room being favored, how unlikely was my record RNG? I think I'll get into that later, but just for now I'm going to say very, very unlikely. Like, way less than 1% probably. Yes, Blueberry, I got the first time under 3 minutes in this level yesterday. Which, yeah, is incredible. So I'm doing a lot of analysis. Damn, yeah, I need to... Yeah, I need to level up, my bad. I should sub 20. Yep. And now I have 228 actually. 228 sub force. Well, if you're playing cruising, technically, Nachito, just, again, very, very unlikely. Because you would need, like, favorite current room a lot of times in a row. I think the max amount of items you can hold is just uncapped, I think. At least I haven't been blocked from picking anything up in ship shape, although cruising players might know more about that. But the more you're carrying, the more you lose control of Hat Kid. She starts walking weird. As soon as you're carrying more than 2, it's just bad. It sucks to move. Let me pause this. Sounds are annoying. Right, so yeah, I explained distant task. So yeah, it picks a room that is between your current and the distant task, and that's a bridge room. And then it rolls some probabilities. There's a 75% chance to roll should avoid previous, which will attempt to avoid using the room that you were previously in as a task spawn. So it's generally unlikely that a task will spawn in the room that you just left. But again, it's still possible, it's just less likely. And it also rolls favor current room, which is actually variable chance, but on average it's 35%. This is something that's affected by what's called difficulty. And generally, close to the start of the run, this is like in the 39%, and as you go further into the run, it starts going downwards to 30%. But just for simplifying, we'll say it's like around 35%. And if this rolls true, it will use the room that you are currently in to spawn a task. And this is something you want to roll as much as possible, because it's pretty nice to have a spawn that's like right next to you. And an important, very important thing to know about this is this probability does not roll if there is a distant task. So if you have a distant task, you will not get favor current room. And this is something I just learned like yesterday. And that's actually very substantial to know. And how many current rooms? I'll get into that. Like, I'll analyze the run later and how that went, comparing it to the rolls and stuff. Basically, yeah, FML, but like, playing like that would be exhausting. I prefer to play for sub-4s, which like can be possible even with somewhat bad luck. Yeah, that makes sense. If it rolls true for favorite current room, then this whole thing is skipped. Or maybe it's not skipped, but at least it becomes irrelevant. But if it rolls false, then it will find an active room, which takes the rooms that are adjacent to you. So we'll use engine room because there's a little adjacent to that. I should use controller so I can actually play the game. So here in engine room, what's adjacent to this room is yellow, which you can go to from here, lobby, which you can get to from here, and kitchen laundry, which you can get to from here. So there's 3 adjacent rooms. And in this case, if you're in here when a task spawns, those 3 rooms will be taken into consideration for an active room. So it takes those and figures out which one of those has the most tasks in it, which one of those rooms has the most tasks in it, and it does not include task delivery points, so the yellow circles are not included as tasks, which is weird. I feel like they should be, but they're not. Except for Mercy Hill Grass, I think that's counted. Math, yeah. Lots of it. And if you rolled true for should avoid previous, then that room is not considered as for the active room. It checks for actors in volumes. That's interesting. That's an interesting way to do it. It also does not include rooms that do not have valid task spawns. For example, engine room. Engine room can't have task spawn in it, it only has a task delivery point in it. no task ever spawn in engine, so that's just not a valid room. So it never gets considered. And there are also other things that can be invalid, which I'll explain later. So for example, if I went through kitchen laundry and then got to here, if I rolled true for should avoid previous, then it would only look at yellow and lobby. So there's a 75% chance it would only look at yellow and lobby for active rooms, no matter the amount of tasks waiting in kitchen. So if there was 1 yellow task and 0 lobby, then yellow would get picked as the active room. But if there's an equal amount of tasks in yellow and lobby, then it will kind of pick between those at random. And it's not fully random, it's not fully 50-50, it's a little bit different, but it's very complicated how that works. So it's close enough to say it's fairly random which one it picks if there's a tie for amount of tasks. And there's also, if there's no valid spawns in any of the adjacent rooms, which can happen, then the room is just set to none. It can also happen if there's 0 tasks, if there's a tie for 0 tasks in active or in adjacent rooms, then it can also roll none to that sometimes. And once it decides the active room, like let's just say yellow is active because there's 1 task in yellow and 0 in lobby, and it doesn't matter how many are in kitchen because I rolled true for should avoid previous and it came from kitchen, then it will pick yellow as active. Exactly, FML. There's not much you can do to manipulate, but you can understand it. And you can manipulate it a little bit, but it's not very large. It's not a very big amount of manipulation. There's no way to guarantee something happens, because there's too many elements. And once it picks the active room, it will roll a 60% chance to favor active room. And this doesn't roll when the active room is none. Yeah, pretty much. Yoshi. Yeah, you can try to like do previous room stuff. By like, for example, if you're in kitchen, like at the start of the run, or maybe sometime into the run. At the start of the run, you're in kitchen, you came here from dining, so dining is your previous room. And then it's less likely to spawn anything in dining. So what you can do is, after you do some kitchen tasks, because the first 3 tasks are usually always the same, then you can quickly go to brown and then leave brown, and now brown is your previous room. So now it's going to be a little bit more likely to spawn stuff in dining. That's something you can do. But task timers can be unpredictable and either just not allow you to do that because you don't have enough time, or they can spawn something while you're in brown. Don't worry, I have God turned on. Let me pause this again. Okay. Active room rolls 60% chance to be true. I have God turned on. And then finally, just generally speaking, if favor current room rolled true, it's going to pick the current room. If it rolled false and active room rolled true, then it's going to pick the active room. And if both roll false, then it will look at the distant task and roll between a random bridge room, if there's more than one bridge room. No, bitrate. No, it was just a spike, we're fine. So, yeah, if there's a distant task, it's going to pick between a random bridge room, which, in the case of bridging from kitchen to pool, it would be either dining or yellow. And if there's no distant task, it just picks a random adjacent room. And that's just in general. It can fail doing that and then go do something else, but I'm not even really sure how that works specifically. I only really know one example, which is this. If it can pick current room if a randomly rolled adjacent or bridge room has no valid spawns, even if you rolled false on favor current room. There's also cases like where it can pick previous room even though avoid previous roll true, just because nothing else is available. Yes, FMO. Okay, Yoshi's explaining how the specifics of failing a room works. Okay, yeah. In the event a room is decided and it ends up being invalid, so an invalid room from these conditions, it'll check current room first, unless, you know, it rolled this. And if that also fails, it'll check previous room, and if that also fails, it goes to range-based, which is explained here. I'll just do that now. So if everything fails, it will do a range-based spawn, which we don't really know that much about. It's just based off of the player's position on the map. And it ignores everything else. Like, it just spawns stuff based on where you are on the map. And it can, most of the time, you know this happens. If it results in an out-of-place casino or Mercial Grass, that's like the most cases where I notice that. Like spawning a casino task when you're 2 rooms away. You're like, what? Why did that happen? Yeah, we don't really need to explain it that much. It's barely used because it requires a lot of things to fail. So, yeah, invalid spawns, more invalid task spawns. Sometimes tasks aren't spawnable yet. This is relevant at the beginning of the run, where much less tasks are available to you, which tends to be why you get the same 3 beginning tasks every time. Bruh. I'm lagging. I'm lagging, bro. Okay, we're back. You can't really reliably trick the game into failing a check. And even then, it's still very random. But yeah, trying to make it fail is hard to do intentionally because of how invalids work. And yeah, you need to get into that situation, and to do that fast, you would need tasks that get you to that situation. So, it's still just very reliant on how the run is going. There's not much you can do about it. Invalid task is a spawn that can't be done yet, again because the beginning of the run has way less tasks available to you, for example. I can demonstrate that, like right now. Actually, I'll just ghost up here.
You feeling lucky?
I consider cheats cheating.
What's that?
So, a good exception to everything is the first task is always the same. It's just using first task. You just use the first task, which is why this is always the first task. You can just go deliver that. And task timer is going down now. Here's the second one, and you can see like the valid tasks possible is just one here. So that's the only valid task that it can spawn. You can see like there in the active rooms check just as dining, which is avoid previous, and then everything else is just not valid yet. So it's just gonna default to spawning that. It can sometimes spawn this plate. I don't really know how that works. It's weird. We don't really understand it that much, but the first three tasks are gonna be very similar most of the time. So as an example of an invalid task, another example is you can't get a task spawn that you're currently doing. So like if you're doing brown toolbox, then you can't get another toolbox to spawn in brown until you finish that one. Double captain is possible because there are two different captain tasks. Like just the left of the chair and the right of the chair, those are just two different tasks in this context. There's no triple captain, and you can't like get another captain spawn while you're carrying both of us tasks. Yes, it is a mod emoji. Yoshi made it. Yoshi, you could post a link to it in chat. You're mod anyway, you can post links. I don't know if it's on Workshop or not, but either way, he knows where it is. If you're watching this video and want to mess around with it, I'll try to remember to put like a Google Drive link or something. Alright, FMO. What's up? Yeah, I've thought about that. I really have. And I've considered not messing with it. Because I don't want to open up that can of worms. Okay, show volumes up here again. Did I already have that on? I didn't realize. Please show the volumes. Yo, Ink, what's up? I thought there was a volume here. Is that a blue thing? Is that the volume? I don't know. Okay, kitchen starts like there. Yeah. I don't think it's possible. I think all the volumes are like thick enough. Is the blue thing the volume? Blue thing. Where's the green? Where's the green volume? Please show me. There's supposed to be a volume here. Where is it? Please explain. I see that green volume though. Although that volume is not changing it to pool. That's weird. You're choking. That's nothing out of the ordinary here. Okay, other invalid tasks. Yeah, tasks you're currently delivering. I've already explained that. A waiting task that you recently delivered. A waiting task, something I'll explain in this section. Or a task that you just recently completed. We don't really know exactly how long you have to wait for a task to be spawnable again. But if you just completed a task, it's not gonna spawn again yet. And I think it can also be an otherwise perfectly valid task that's just considered too far away from your player position on the map. Though I'm not really sure how that works or if you can manipulate it. Alright, so when it's decided the room finally, then it will decide the task in that room. And that's much more simple. It just rolls one probability, which is favor waiting task, which is a 85% chance to be true. And a waiting task is a task that is like a 2-step or more steps kind of thing, like putting kitchen plates like these, putting these in the oven. Now this plate is now a waiting task, because you can get this task again, and then that's the thing you can deliver. So that's a waiting task. Another example is pool drinks. You can get the pool return tasks, which is why going to pool early is generally not great, because you're probably going to be forced to go there again. So there's 85% chance to do that, but again, it won't be possible to spawn those if you just delivered it. Like I just put this in, so I'm not sure exactly how long, but this would not be spawnable yet. I don't know exactly how it works though. But as soon as it becomes available, it's more likely to spawn, outside of anything else in that room. Same for letters, I think so. Yoshi, can you confirm that? I think letters and Mafia Jar also run on that logic. Although those might just be affected by spawn waits and not the actual waiting tasks. Letters 2 and 3 are on that. Okay, so the first letters and Mafia Jar are not affected by waiting tasks, but the second and third are. So yeah, it's very simple that how it decides the actual task in the room once it's decided the room. So yeah, if favor waiting tasks roll true, it's going to pick a random waiting task. And if there are no waiting tasks, it just picks a random task. And if it rolled false, then it just picks a random task. And it's not completely random because there is a weight applied to all the tasks, and those are just predetermined values that are the same in every run. And for example, lobby letters and the Mafia Jar have a higher weight than other tasks and are more likely to spawn. At least Mafia Jar 1 and letters 1, which is why you tend to see Mafia Jar so often. It's because Mafia Jar has a much higher weight, which makes it more likely to spawn if Mercil gets picked than any other Mercil task. And Mercil drinks return. Although that's just favor waiting tasks rolling, which again is likely. Brown drinks return is terrible. That's probably the actual worst task in the game. And yeah, I already explained the rank-based, so that's pretty much how a task is decided. So that's all on Taskmaster. If you have any more questions about Taskmaster, I can try to answer them. I can do like a little example thing to show, like walk through the logic it used to spawn something. Yeah, laundry drinks is also really bad. Laundry to pool, it's generally pretty bad. Who is a taskmaster? I can answer that. Let's see, I'll open Discord for that. Let's see. He's up here somewhere. There he is. This is Taskmaster. Right here. This is the one. He's a little bitch. It's a little bitch with a slot machine. This is Taskmaster. Taskmaster's eye color? I already forgot. If there even was one. Thanks for the bet, Blueberry. I appreciate it. Yep, there he is. So, thanks for the bet, FMO. I don't think the alerts are showing on stream, but like the RAM anime thing. It's playing the sound though. Just weird. Yo, welcome to the bit leaderboards. Let's go. Y'all wanna try to beat Chromie? 4.5k? What a lord. Chromie's a god. Okay, why? Yeah, I can't answer that one, I don't have enough information. That's fair. Let's see, did I miss anything? What's Taskmaster eye color? I already forgot the picture looked like. Thanks for the bit, Yoshi. Provide you enough services. What does that mean? I'm scared. What do I need to do? Do I need to kill someone? How is Taskmaster? He's having fun. He's pulling the lever on the slot machine. That's also quite cursed. This has implications that are TOS. Why is Taskmaster a metaphor for life? Because no matter what you do, you're gonna throw away your life to some sort of gambling addiction. How to kill Taskmaster? You go here and you type exit in the console and you hit enter. The good ending. I agree. Here, I'll do some. Let him expire. Yeah, just expire all his tasks. Taskmaster won't have fun if you don't play along. 60 FPS? Yeah, this game is on speedrun rules. It is locked at 60 FPS. So I just have always played it on 60. Because FPS can affect some movement in the game. And some tricks.
Please pass these plain uncoded messages along.
So it was capped at 60.
Thank you for the
650. Good luck at doing an SDJ with that. I will actually applaud you. I will like give you money if you do an SDJ on 650 FPS. I won't give you money, I'm poor, but like, it's impressive. An SDJ is a sprint double jump. You need to be sprinting and then you let go of sprint and then you press jump. Like around 2 frames after you let go of sprint. So, of course, the higher your FPS, the harder that is to do. Because you have less time to press jump. It's also one of the reasons why we locked it at 60, because SCJs become harder on higher FPS. And easier on lower FPS. No, you don't have less time. You have more time because less frames per second mean you have more time to let go of sprint. Because 2 frames take longer at 60 FPS than on 600 FPS. I can understand that. I play 144 on Rocket League, but it's just speedrun wise the game acts differently on higher FPS, and it's unfair to people with bad computers like me and a lot of other people with bad computers. Alright, I'm gonna cheat here. Hold up. I'm stuck. New ship hover, boat hover. Alright, okay. Alright, let's just see. Like, I want logic on a non-distant task. I choked. Oh well. Yeah, I got 4 bits. I should buy a gaming PC. You're right. Dude, I'm rich. Thanks, Blueberry. Is it gonna... No, it's gonna run out. Thanks. Wait, no, it's not. We're fine. Right? Yeah. Alright, let's see the logic on that task. So, that was a range-based spawn. Okay. Thanks. Never mind then.
Thanks for the help.
Let's just do that. Alright, what was it now? Okay, that was an actual spawn. So, for that task spawn, it spawned lobby while I was in here with a task delivery appointment engine and a waiting task, or not a waiting task, just an active task in kitchen laundry. I pressed the buttons in the wrong order. There you go. Yep, that's in the actual guide. Actual frequently asked questions. It's great. Yep. Nice flex. I do not have these units or even know what they mean. But it sounds like you're having a blast. High end, I figured, with the FPS values there. Those are not realistic hat values for any average computer. Okay, so that lobby spawn, it rolled should avoid previous, rolled false on favor current, so it decided on active room, and with the task in kitchen, that was chosen as the active room, so kitchen laundry was chosen active, because there was only one task in kitchen and nothing else. Avoid previous on yellow was irrelevant because there were 0 tasks there anyway. And it chose kitchen as the active room, but it also then rolled false on favoring the active room. So it chose between the other possible rooms, which I think does not include yellow because of avoid previous, so the only remaining one is lobby. So it chose lobby. And then it rolled favored waiting task true, and there was one waiting task, which I believe is letters. I think letters was the waiting task here, so it spawned the second letters task. So that's why letters 2 spawned there.
Could you deliver these for a fellow passenger?
Lucky?
Unremarkable messages. For me, you shouldn't have.
True. Alright, let's see. This one was yellow. So for that yellow spawn, I was in kitchen laundry. Engine room was the previous room, so, and it also rolled true for avoid previous, so it avoided engine room, which is invalid anyway because nothing can spawn there. It rolled false for favoring current room, so it tried to pick an active room, and the only task that was there was that kitchen task, and this is my current room, so it doesn't get factored. It's not an adjacent room, so floor buggers. Yep. Yeah, my Quadro is very old. I'm surprised I can run anything on it. See a username, thanks for hanging out. Bug through the floor. Yeah, lag clip. It's fast. It's fast, just lag your game. Yeah, from up. Try to explain. Graphics card. I don't have a car in my computer, unfortunately. It chose yellow from random from the 4 rooms with the most tasks, because the most amount of tasks in the adjacent rooms was 0, so it chose between those. Quote-unquote at random is a little more complicated, but I'm not getting into that. When a room is favored... Okay, I assume you mean when a room is chosen, because the way the way it decides the task in the room is... Yeah, okay. So, a non-waiting task completely even in their chance of spawning. A waiting task is more likely because of the 85% chance to roll true for that. So it will, most of the time it will check for waiting tasks first and pick between those. But if it rolls false or there aren't any waiting tasks, it will pick any valid non-waiting task, just a normal task. And those are not equal because of weights that are applied to those tasks that are just predetermined values that are the same in every run. And I don't know all of them, but I know Mafia Jar in Mercial has a pretty high weight, so it is like the most likely normal task to spawn in Mercial. That's why you see it so often, and I think letters in lobby is also has more weight. Yoshi can maybe explain it better, but yeah, the weights explained a lot. That's true. I was very confused before that why I was getting Mafia Jar so often, like almost every run. Yeah, it rolled yellow at random. That's the active room. And it rolled true for favoring the active room. So it chose yellow. And that was the end of that. Then it just didn't find any waiting tasks, rolled true for that, didn't find any waiting tasks. And it chose the available yellow task, which is either batteries or toolbox. What was that? That was rain wrists. What the fuck happened there? Why did it spawn gambling? Yeah, about this. I don't know. I honestly don't know. My PC name? No idea. I don't know what I'm running. It plays the games. John. Mine's a lag machine. I'm actually confused because I don't think it should be able to pick gambling. Because it's not an adjacent room. It favored lobby, and it chose lobby as active and favored active, so it should have spawned lobby. But it spawned what I think that's letters. Yeah, that's letters, so apparently this is still counted as a lobby task because it originated in lobby, maybe? That's really weird. That's really strange. Yeah, do you understand this, Yoshi? I was in kitchen when this spawned. I was in kitchen with the current tasks on screen. And my previous was... Okay, the previous doesn't matter, it will false. Yeah, that was weird. I think that's just unintentional, that these letters are still assigned as a lobby task. Like, it picked lobby, it rolled through, it doesn't look like it went to a failsafe. It's interesting. This taskmaster is interesting. He works in ways we don't understand. Okay, I think we're done on that. Explaining taskmaster fully. This is literally impossible, you can't do that. Impossible challenge, literal. Okay, I think it's time we actually look at my run now. It's been long enough. Gaming. Let's see. Shout out to Sir Wow for being the only person there to witness this live. The most unexpected run. Oh, my desktop icons. Why did that happen? I just want to see the chat. Ship shape in sub3. True emoji. We need to wait until Taskmaster reaches like a self-aware age. Then he can explain himself to us. Okay. I already muted this. So the beginning of the run is fairly normal. You just buffer a jump out of the loading screen since you spawn a little bit higher. Do fairly basic platforming with some speedrun tech thrown in there. That first task is always the same. Do a little slide down there and deliver that. So that was delivered at 19, which is like a fairly fast time for that. Like that's like what you want to get. So no time lost there. So now I predicted that task because that's usually most of the time that's the task you're going to get as your second task. Basically what you're just saying, like this is just what you're expecting. And here I'm calling a third plates or a second plates as my third task. So I deliver that. But those are the most common first three tasks. The first task is always the same, and those next two tasks are most of the time going to be the plate over there, and then between two different or three different plates, here. Yeah, basically, yeah. Current room with multiple possible spots. Because most of the time it's going to be a random plate somewhere around here, or a laundry task down here. Which is still the same room. Now it spawned that next, which is most of the time in my experience the 4th task, or the 5th task, because this is a waiting task. So it does current room and then, yeah, current room true, or a failsafe that ended in current room because of invalid tasks, and it rolled true on favor waiting task, so it picked this. Most of the time, if I'm like trying to call a task, it's a waiting task. So I go back in here and decide to stay in this kitchen room because generally it's more risky. But if you get good RNG, it's better to stay in here than to stay in the dining hall. It's just less likely to go your way. So I believe oven tasks like that can also... Actually no, that was another plates I put on. My bad, yeah, this is just still a waiting task. I was just a little bit on autopilot. So like I was looking at these ovens and then I realized like, wait, yeah, no, the waiting task is on this side. Didn't matter that much though. Struggle a little bit with delivering that. Doesn't really matter too much because task timers are ticking down anyway. And I mean, yeah, this is a review stream. This is like an analysis overexplained. So yeah, that spawned. So this rolled false for avoid previous, and then also picked that room. So that's pretty lucky. I was trying to predict a captain spawn at this point. I like doing that after. See ya, Blueberry. Wait, you can see that. Thanks for the follow as well. You can see that on my phone, just realized. So this spawned, it had the 25% chance to be false for avoid previous. And it picked a random adjacent or active room, which also happened to be kitchen, so it's fairly unlikely. I was predicting for captain here, since that's a random adjacent room and is not the previous room. I like to do that, like go in dining and hope to get captain when I've done a bunch of kitchen tasks already. And then I go back to kitchen after that, but I just got a kitchen task anyway, so I go back in there. And it's a plates too, so I can get another waiting task. This rolls just as I'm in the... This is spawned while I'm in the dining volume. I just got there. So favorite current room again. So that's 3 favorite current rooms so far. You're an FMO, see ya. 3 favorite current rooms, and it rolled the good dining hall task, not the baby task. So it rolled that. I go deliver that. Current room again, 4 current rooms, and it's the other dining hall plates, and not the baby. Kind of insane. So here, I deemed that this waiting task has been here long enough to be available. Current room again. So it's 4 current rooms in a row. And like what, 6 total now? Keep in mind that's like a 35% chance on each current room roll, so that becomes exponentially less likely as I get more of them. So very insane start. And I called the right task as well, because this was the waiting task, so I figured if it rolled current room, then this would be the most likely task. And here it's spawned pool. So this is the first slow task. So here it rolled false for current room and picked a random adjacent or active room. and in this case it's pool. So I go over there. I was hoping for a dining baby spawn here, didn't get anything. Task timer is being kind of bad right now, but doesn't matter since it takes a while to travel to there. That's a current room spawn, again. Although it's not a very good task. So here, current room, again. I decided not to go back for this, instead of I figured like I could bridge my way up on this task, use that, and then go to the ink baby, then deliver that, and then come back to this. Maybe more drinks would have spawned by then. And do that. Some movement, fail. Here it rolled false, picked a random adjacent / active room, and that's Mafia Jar. I'm pretty sure that's Mafia Jar, so like the most likely merciful task in that scenario. Current room, again. Like I was right to delay this, because now there's 2 drinks here, so it's a little bit faster to pick 2 things up at once. Both of those end in pool. It's important to mention pool drinks. These can be delivered, when you pick this up, it can be delivered to pool, it can be delivered to Mercial, it can be delivered to yellow and brown. And it picked pool for all 3 of them, so that's pretty lucky too, keep that in mind. That's the best you can get. Although Mercial would also be acceptable here since I already have a task waiting there. Here it favors active room. Pretty sure it chose Mercial as active here, and then favored it, so it spawned a task in Mercial. Spawns the only task that is completed instantly when you pick it up, and not something you have to go somewhere else to deliver. This is called the freebie, the Mercial freebie. Yeah, picked active room, and then out of everything that could have spawned there, it picked like the best task by far. There's Mafia Jar, go down, pick that up. So, something I just discovered is, I think it's better to go through yellow to go to dining, because the only bridge to, oh wait, it can also use pool to bridge to dining. But if you go through yellow, it can use kitchen as a bridge, and you get free kitchen tasks, that's possible. But this is also fine, because you can get a captain task as a bridge. So here it spawned this, so random adjacent room, since this is not counted towards an active thing. Or it could also have rolled the active, but it didn't choose dining as the active because of this. Because it's a delivery point. So random, adjacent, or active. I think that's a current room. I think I'm still in captain when this spawned. And I decided to leave it because of how task timers work. I was just backtracking, and then doing all 3 would maybe give me worse timers. Like they would tick down slightly slower if rather than just doing these 2 first and then clipping to captain. Current room true. I pick those up. Struggle with delivering that. Deliver this, and this is a lag clip. I'll actually explain this since I'm assuming some people don't know what that is. Like if you don't run this game, you probably don't know what just happened there if you watch the run. So this is a lag clip. We have a lag button, which standardizes how much you can lag your game. We used to be able to, or we can still do it, but we used to lag the game by just changing graphics settings or the language, and that is inconsistent between computers, so it was unfair, and it was also less fun. So we have a lag button that just lags the game for 0.4 seconds. And with lag, you can do all sorts of things, like clip on walls and clip through the floor by using walls, by using ledge climbs. In this case, you just lag your game and then buffer a ledge climb and you go through the floor. And there's a default recovery volume below the entire map that if you hit it, you just get sent back to Captain. So it's a fast way to get to Captain from Kitchen. So I go there, pick that up, slide back down. I'm not sure if I was in Dining or Kitchen at that point. It's... I think I'm in Kitchen. I think I'm in Kitchen. So that might be a current room, but it could also be an active or adjacent. You think Kitchen? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kitchen. So current room, true, as the last task, and its plates. And you might notice the game is set to Japanese, so this saves 2.5 seconds because this text at the end of the level scrolls way faster in Japanese. So I make my way over to the timepiece room. So this trick that I do is... okay, how do I go explaining this? It was actually not sub3 because of Japanese, because it was a point... it was 58.36. So even with English, that would have been like 59.86. But... yeah, pretty sick still. Oh wait, no, 2.5. Wait, yeah, it is. I just did math wrong. Never mind. Yeah, it is. If this run was in English, that would not be sub3. Never mind. My bad. You're right. That's pretty insane. It'll be a 3 flat point 86. So this trick, at the end of the run, you get, after the captain dialogue, you just get teleported back to the captain. And if you don't touch the floor and land on his chair like that, then you don't set what's called a safe spot. And let me explain that. This game has an anti-softlock kind of mechanic that just teleports you to your last safe spot if the game thinks you're stuck. And that's called a stuck warp. And you set a safe spot whenever you touch a floor for more than 1 frame. Generally, just when you touch a floor for more than 1 frame, that's a safe spot. There are some floors that don't count, and most, I think all things that like move, called dynamic actors, everything that's moving does not count as a safe spot, like the captain's chair. So you can land on the captain's chair, and since you didn't touch the floor on the captain, because you jumped before hitting the floor, then your safe spot is still down here at lobby. So if you land on the chair and then make the game think you're stuck, it will teleport you back to that safe spot. So you can use that to save a bunch of time traveling to the timepiece by basically just teleporting right next to it. Yeah, even I don't really know what this means, but yeah. And you can make the game think you're stuck with the use of the lag button and jump. So normally a way you would just stuck warp is to actually get yourself stuck in something, which is pretty specific on how to do that. But with what's called a lag warp, you can make the game think you're stuck whenever you want. And that's having jump and lag bound to the same button and pressing it in a rhythm a couple times. In this case 3 times. So you time 3 presses and the game thinks you're stuck and teleports you. And then you just pick up the timepiece and that's the level. So very lucky run. Lots of current room true rolls. Let me actually count those. Let's see. So we're not counting the third one because that one's always current room. But we're going to count 4 and onwards. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 current room rolls. And with the probability of current room rolls, I think you're only expected like 5 or 6 per run. Maybe less. And I got 10 of them in one run. So that's fairly lucky. Sorry, I need water. Also answer this, probably, yeah. Because it is very dependent on like what volume you're in, what room you're in. So some of the small movement slips could have definitely affected some of the spots. True, yep. I also want to say that this 6th spawn was very unlikely, again. Which was... Which was it? It was this one, this spawn right here, since... Again, generally it would avoid the previous room. But it didn't avoid previous, and it also rolled to actually use this room. So it's actually less likely than a favorite current room. And it was pretty good, too. Yes, also that, like, yeah, the pool, all the pool drinks ending in pool is very lucky. All of the dining oven tasks ending in, or all of the kitchen oven tasks ending in dining hall, pretty lucky, since those can also end in brown, yellow, or mercial. Very nice. So, I'm not a statistician. I don't know how to actually calculate a net probability on how lucky this run is, because there's so many factors. But I would say it's definitely out there, very out there. Nothing, there's never been RNG this perfect before. It's very, very flawless RNG. It's like definitely less, like I would say around 1 in 1,000, maybe even rarer. And that's 1 in 1,000 plays of the level, which is a lot of times when playing the level. Maybe less than that, maybe a lower chance than that. So, yeah, even lower, that's definitely fair too. I don't really know. It's just very rare. Let's see. I forgot what I was gonna say. Whatever. I think we're just done here now. I've gone through the whole thing. So, if there's more questions... Any questions in chat? There aren't that many people here anymore, but I'll wait a minute or two if there are any questions. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave questions in the comments if something's unclear, which is very likely. It's very complicated. What was your favorite task in the ship shape run? Let's see. Probably Where is it? Stupid. This one. This task right here. Of course, Inkling Baby, yep. That's one of my least favorite ones. This is kind of a bad task, but it was made not bad by the fact that pool was kept for a very long time, and the drinks led me up to it. This is probably my favorite one. It was fairly unlikely, and it's a pretty late kitchen plate spawn. A kitchen plate spawn like this is basically 2 guaranteed very fast tasks, because this turns into a waiting task that you can then also deliver very fast. So this task was very good. And last task, shout out to that last task as well. Last task also big contender. Since last task is infamous for killing a bunch of runs, because if you get a last task that takes a while to deliver, it's way worse than getting a task that takes a while to deliver in the middle of the run. Because in the middle of the run, the task timers are still ticking down, and something else can spawn that's on the way to where you need to deliver the task and stuff. But on the last task, that's the only thing you're doing now. So it loses more time if the task is bad. But yep, last task spawned in the room I was currently in, and it was a plate that goes right into the oven. And this Mercial freebie is also pretty nice. We like that. I feel like that's fairly rare. Mercial being picked here is not rare, but this task being picked out of all of them is pretty nice. Because they could have picked like a laundry basket. Or Doka Baby, which would have just killed the run. What will I do now? So I still plan on playing this level more, because this is the most fun I have playing ahead in time is in this level. That's why I have this many sub-4s. I wouldn't be playing it as much if I didn't actually have fun. So I still want to play this more eventually. I'm doing any percent right now though, and I want a 35 in any percent, and after I do that, I want to do 100 times ship shape run, which is just a run where I do ship shape 100 times in one sitting. No resetting, just 100 ship shapes. So I'll do that eventually. And after that, maybe I'll start doing the Death Wish variant of ship shape called Cruising for a Bruising. And try to get some high score runs on that. Ship but good. We'll see. I've already tried it for like 5 minutes, and it's not playable, man. It's just you can't play this. There's too much shit going on. But I think that's the point of the level. I can do like a struggle stream trying to play it at some point. That's just Deathathon, true. Yeah, thanks Yoshi for this. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll be streaming everything I mentioned. It'll be streamed. So if you want to watch stuff like that live, you can check that out. This analysis is also live in case that's not obvious. This chat's pre-recorded. I scripted all of this. This entire thing, I scripted it. These aren't real people. I also scripted the run. The run is fake, guys, I'm sorry. I'll post a paste-bin apology in my bathtub at 4 AM in like 6 months. thanks. You did it. Alright, any questions from the YouTube people? Leave that in the comments. I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities. So yeah, this has gone on for longer than I thought I would, but we're done now. I'm gonna stop now. So yeah, see ya guys. Thanks for hanging out.